Yo, chat. Yo, give me like 3 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes. All right, I'll be back.
I keep a Glock like a car. Hey, yo, she get the top in the draw. Yo, hey, diamonds they wait on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Diamonds they wait on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Diamonds they wait on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Yo, 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 wait, yo, wait, wait, yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 tats on my neck and my arm, tats on my neck and my arm. Oh, and this bitch going crazy. Yo, I with this shit like a baby. Yo, yo, I fuck your bitch, you my baby. Yo, yo, I treat your bitch like my lady. Shawty been back like the majors. Place with the dope like the 80s. I'm in the kitchen, go crazy. I just want me a Mercedes. Pull up, we talking 380s. Pull up, I send a location. Pull up, I send a location. What? You gonna hop on my car? Billy Cool riding with stars. What? I keep a Glock like a car. Hey, yo, she get the top in the draw. Yo, hey, diamonds they wait on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Diamonds they wait on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Diamonds they wait on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Yo. Tats on my neck on my arm. Tats on my neck on my arm. Yo. Hey. Yo. Tats on my neck on my arm.
Fuck that. 8 doobies to the face. Fuck that. 12 bottles in the case, nigga. Fuck that. 2 pills and a half weight, nigga. Fuck that. Got a high tolerance when your age don't exist. Man, I swear my nigga tripping off that shit again. Pick 'em up, then I set 'em in cold water. Then I order someone to bring 'em Vicodin. Hope they take the pain away from the feeling that he feel today. You know when you're part of Section 8 and you feel like no one can relate. Cause you are a loner, marijuana. Endorphins make you stronger. I'm in the house party, tripping off my generation, sipping cough syrup like it's water. Never know pancakes in the kitchen, man. Not one of our lives is caught up in the daily superstition that the world is about the end. Gives a fuck, we never do listen unless it comes with an 808, a melody and some hoes, PlayStation and some drink. Technology bought my soul. Looking around and all I see is a big crowd that's product of me, and they probably relatives relevant for a rebel stream. Yep, her president is black, she black, purple label on her back. What that tap? It's like blue, she take it straight to the head. Then she look at me, she got ADHD. 8 doobies to the face, fuck that. 12 bottles in the case, nigga, fuck that. 2 pills and a half weight, nigga, fuck that. Got a high tolerance when your age don't exist. Like whoa.
Don't got a limit, just give me some more with it. Don't got a limit, just give me some more with it. They always tell me ADHD did it.
And then she started feeling the stuff like no one else in this apartment. Beg your pardon, oh I rap, baby. How old are you? She say 22, I say 23. Okay, then we all crack babies. Damn, why you say that? She said, where my drink at? I'ma tell you later, just tell your neighbors and the police relax. I stood up, shut the blind, closed the screen, jumbotron, made to the back where she reside. Then she said, read between the lines. Yep, hope that I get close enough when the lights turn down. And the fact that she just might open up when the new folks start to drown. Her body and I know the both of us really deep in the mood now. It's nothing we can do now. Somebody walked in with a pound of that Bay Area kush. She looked at me, then looked at it, then she grabbed it, then she said, get it understood. You know why we crack babies, because we born in the 80s. That ADHD crazy. 8 doobies to the face, fuck that. 12 bottles bottles in the case, nigga, fuck that. 2 pills and a halfway, nigga, fuck that. Got a high tolerance when your age don't exist. Like whoa, 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 whoa.
Don't got a limit, just give me some more with it. Don't got a limit, just give me some more with it. They always tell me ADHD, did it.
Double cup, deuce, 4, 6, just mix it and Sprite. Ecstasy, shrooms, blow, drone, hoes, whatever you like. You can have all my shine, I will give you the light.
I said it must be, cause a nigga got dough. Extraordinary swag in the mouth full of gold. Hoes at my shows, they be stripping off their clothes. And the college girls write a nigga name on their toe. Niggas talk shit till they get locked jaw. Chrome to your dome till you get Glock jaw. Party like a cowboy or a rock star. Everybody play the tough guy till shit pop off.
Let's take it to the basis. You and them Mr. Greatness. My Martin was a Mason. Rock Margellas with no laces. Crystal go by the cases. Wait, hold up, that was racist. I would prefer the aces. Ain't no different when you taste it. A 40 ounce to chase it. That's just an understatement. I'm early to the party, but my Rari is the latest. Somehow it seems girls in they late teens remind me of favorite jeans. Cause they naked, cause you famous. Like some motherfucker ain't it. These other rappers ain't it. So tell me what your name is. I'ma tell it to my stainless. You aim it for you bang it, but that bang it leave you brainless. It's just me, myself, and I, and motherfuckers that I came with. It's lameness. Niggas wanna hate on me until I tell them to they face they ain't no G. Low key, niggas mad cause I'm smooth puffin' zigzag. Tell them quit the riff rap bitchin' with your bitch
I said it must be, cause a nigga got dough. Extraordinary swag in the mouth full of gold. Hoes at my shows, they be stripping off their clothes. And the college girls write a nigga name on their toe. Niggas talk shit till they get locked jaw. Chrome to your dome till you get Glock jaw. Party like a cowboy or a rock star. Everybody play the tough guy till shit pop off.
Yes, I'm the shit. Tell me, do it stink? It feel good waking up some money in the bank. 3 model bitches, cocaine on the sink, and I'm so body. I might roll up in the tank, cause my chain came from Cuba. Got a lock up on the link, and the red bottom loafers just to compliment the mink. I shank, rolling up that dank, blowing on that stank. What you mean? Tell me what you drink. I'm on that kissing pink. You could call me Billy Gates, got a crib in every state. Man on the moon, got a condo out of space. Open up your legs, tell me how it tastes. And them niggas talking shit, so tell it to my face. Tell that bitch, hop up on my dick, rolled up on it quick. In the 6, told her suck a dick, motorboat her tits. I'm the shit, niggas mad, cause I'm smooth puffin' zigzag. Tell them quit the riff rap, bitchin' with your bitch.
I said it must be, cause the nigga got dough. Extraordinary swag in the mouth full of gold. Hoes at my shows, they be stripping off their clothes. And the college girls write a nigga name on their toe. Cause niggas talk shit till they get locked jaw. Chrome to your dome till you get Glock jaw. Party like a cowboy or a rock star. Everybody play the tough guy till shit pop off. Everybody play the tough guy to shit ball.
Get it? Text a message, I don't know the number. Flexing on these niggas, every bone and muscle. Steady taking shots.
What's up?
Even then, y'all don't worry.
Oh man.
I'd like to give a shout out to my
Let me just go ahead and put this headset on and we'll get started.
20 bands, rain dance. We can eat the
Hope you guys are good
make plans.
on a Sunday morning.
Rocket loader, can't let's rock and roll this. Time to go.
Hold on, let me actually put my key in this. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second.
You think I'm jumping out the window, how I got 'em open. Line around the corner, line 'em up the block and over. Sometimes I even stop the smoking when it's time to focus. My shade, Dior, my pants, velour. Create, explore, expand, concord. I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord, then break the law. I take what's mine, then take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. I came, I saw, I came, I saw. I praise the Lord, then break the law. I take what's mine, then take some more. It rains, it pours, it rains, it pours. Yeah, I sold the pack, the loose, the hard.
All right.
I listen to X, I beat the bars, the snakes, the rats, the cats, the dogs, the games, a trap, protect your heart. Awaited in line, return, refine the new design.
What's up? What's up, chat? What's going on? Hope all is good. Good morning. Where my camera at? Sorry, chat. Just got home, so I got home. You know, I was up late, so I had to just. Where is the camera? Hold on. Yeah, I haven't moved that. Like, I'm still at my old location right now, but hope I was good, yo. So many selfie videos. Yo, you're funny, Huss. You're funny, bro. You're funny. Yeah, man. What's going on? For those that are new here, hope you guys, enjoy what's about to go down this year, next year. Lots of stuff coming down for you guys. Lots of content. Just, bro, I'm pushing Q4. Like, a lot of people take Q4 off, but for me, I'm like, yo, I gotta push Q4. Q4, usually every year, Q4 is like one of my strongest months. So I gotta push. So you guys will be getting more content, more videos on YouTube, fucking the course update, like everything. I'm just trying to push and do as much as I can to finish off the year off right, so that you guys can use the momentum. Because I know you guys take, sometimes I know you guys be going ham in January, so I want to make sure everything is ready for January, or even end of December. Some of you guys probably go crazy, just sit on simulations, back tests, whatever it is that you guys do, right? But yeah, I'm trying to just get that down and ready, prepared, so that when January hits, you guys will have it all done and set out. But yeah, on top of that, 100K coming soon too, right? So I got to push for that as well. I'm trying to get that by January 1st. But yeah, if you guys are new, hope you guys enjoy the content coming soon. If you guys are been long time followers or subscribers, this is all for you guys at the end of the day, right? But yeah, today's webinar is going to be basically about just last week we did more of just like, I'll say more questions on technical analysis. Let me just go ahead and where is my music? Yeah, last week we did more on technical analysis. I would say this week I would want to focus more on just well, technical analysis is cool. We can still focus on that, but I want to make sure we get maybe a question or two in about psychology, so yeah, yes, we'll do what we did last week, basically, where I sent my Zoom link, and then at the first half of the stream we answer everyone's in chat's question on YouTube, and then the second half of the live stream we sort of have people on Zoom come in. General Aladdin actually had a good idea on what we should do this webinar, and I'll see if we can have time for that as well. Let me just go ahead and play this music real quick. Where is it? All right, sick. There it is. Fresh out of bed. Yeah, bro, I just woke up, but yeah, I literally just woke up Like I woke up maybe like 30 minutes ago. Hold on, chat. Give me like 1 second. Let me just go ahead and send the Zoom link, and then we'll get started. All right. So everyone has you know, access to Zoom to be able to ask questions live. So I'll be unmuting you guys, you know, one at a time, obviously, and then each person who gets unmuted would have a chance to ask their question. It can be anything, to be honest. Just don't ask it from my SIM card number, please. But yeah, it can be anything. I'll answer it live. You know how it goes. It's a Sunday morning though. How you guys feeling? We have 500 people in here. That's pretty good, bro. That is pretty good. Last week we had like 500 peak or 450 peak. This week we might hit 600, chat. And then next week 900. The week after 1,000 plus. So I'll be doing this until probably end of the year. Every Sunday I'll try. You know, I might be a little busy. Like I'm very busy right now, but I still showed up today. Even though I got a bunch of stuff for delivery today too. Got the mattress, and I got a hockey game in 2 hours. I got another hockey game in 2 hours, so I got a lot of stuff going on. But I had to start the stream up a little earlier because I gotta go a little later, you know. Wait, chat, do you guys, what time do you guys prefer me to stream? Do you guys want me to stream at this time, like 9 a.m. Eastern, like this time for me, or do you guys prefer like a 12 p.m. stream, a noontime stream? Like, what do you guys prefer? Or some of you guys might even prefer like a 6 a.m. stream, you know, like we usually do every week. I don't know how you guys are on the weekend, you know. For me, I sleep in a little bit, but you guys might be waking up at the same time. So this time is great. Okay. This time is good. Your comfort is good. Yeah, I'm cool with any time. It's just like, I don't know, everyone's from a different time zone, right? So I want to make sure everyone's on the same boat. Sorry, I had to play General Aladdin's question again. So he basically said he sent me a voice note. He's like, yo, Don, you should do. I did this with a couple of guys in the Discord, but he's like, you should probably get members on the Zoom to come on and then send their trades they took this week or whatever trade they want to send me. And then once they send it, I give them feedback on it, you know? So that could be a good idea too. I'll make time for that at the end of the stream. I'm gonna try to keep the stream like maybe an hour or two long, you know? Two hours is max, you know, but I think an hour to an hour and a half would be like perfect for the stream. So yeah, chat, let's get started. So let's see, what's the first question? First question is, yeah, you guys can ask questions. Man, that special shot woke me up. No, I asked that question earlier about the time for the webinar, not the usual stream. Usual streams will be always the same time because the NY session, I can't change that, right? Yeah, the replay will upload on YouTube for sure. Yeah, go to bed, bro. If it's late, go to bed. My question is support and resistance. While placing support and resistance while looking left, apart from your recent support and resistance, should I consider the wicks also or just the body? Are these wicks important? Yeah, so when it comes to drawing support and resistance, for instance, in this scenario, right? If I were to draw my support and resistance, my first step always is I'll give you a step-by-step process. Why not, right? But my process would be like this. So let me just pick a time for more traffic, maybe. Okay, so I'll say, okay, cool. Right here would be good. So if I were to draw my support, right? the first thing I'll usually do is I'll zoom in a little bit. I'll look left, right? I'll zoom in, I'll look left. I'll be like, okay, well, if this is my area of interest, which is this current price, anything else to the left is kind of irrelevant. You know, like you can use whatever to the left as like a confirmation or as like historical data to identify where you rejected in the past. But your main focus right now is the current ranges. So within the current range, what would make the most sense to be your support and resistance, right? So I'll break it up again in another part. I'll be like, okay, well, I'm noticing that you are currently right now in this range here, right? Or in this box here, I would say. This is the box you're sort of in. So in this box, I want to look left and I want to make sure I have areas of interest. So if I were to draw my support here in this case, I'll look left and I'll be like, okay, cool. To the left-hand side here, you have rejections over here, right? And obviously in this case, like there's only one rejection here because like there's a huge gap across here. There's no data there, right? So that would be pretty straightforward. I'll draw my line maybe right around here, but I'll move it down a little bit. I'll tell you why. So it right here shows me that there is some type of support here, right? But if you look at the most recent support now, you're going to notice that's a little below, which is here, right? And I'm drawing on the body basically because wicks are levels where you rejected, but you like there's one thing that all these candles had in common. This candle, this candle, this candle, this candle, this candle, this, like all these candles to the left, they all wick down at one given point, but they all close respecting. So wherever it closed would be more key, because if you were to close below, then that's confirmation that you're gonna head down towards the downside. Whereas if you were to close respecting, then you're likely gonna be rejecting off of that support level. So in this case, yeah, I'll draw it right here at the most recent. Now, when drawing my resistance, this is where things might get a little trickier. But if I'm looking left there, I'm now focused on this area to the left over here. I'm focused on this support to the left here, this support over here, this support here, this support here. So I'm looking at maybe this, you know, this, all the wick areas to the left, right? So wherever you see wicks, you want to highlight kind of. So looking left here, looking left maybe over here, right? So I'll say anything below here would be more ideal, right around here. Because if you were to draw your, let's say your support off of here, right? What do you have? You have areas up here as well, right? And then you have areas here as well. So I'll say the support with the cleanest traffic below would be the case. So anything below this area to the left over here would be more ideal. So I'll put it over here somewhere. I'll stay right there at 1944.873. You close below there, you should be able to come down. I think that's where we had it on Friday too, because Friday we had the exact same level at 44.873, and then you close below, and then we took sells coming down, I think, right? That was Friday. So that was the idea behind yeah, Friday trade. But yeah, that's how I would draw my support and resistance. I would just look for areas of rejections to the left, and I'll look for the cleanest traffic coming down. So I don't want to draw my, for instance, like if I were to draw my resistance here, right? I don't want to draw my resistance right here, right? Just because there's areas of rejections to the left here. So I'll go ahead and maybe move it up here towards the cleanest traffic, because anything above there, you have a bigger range to drive up towards. You can also just move it up towards here as well and avoid anything below here if you want to avoid the mess, because above, I think that level, you have clean range going up towards the next resistance, which to the left looks like it's going to be anywhere in this box here, right? So right now I have a range from maybe here to like here, and I'll say, yeah, you close above 1973, 976, you should have clean traffic to the left hand side to drive up towards 1981. Yeah, that in that case, yeah, that's where I'll do it. But yeah, bodies closures are very key, because you want to identify the cleanest range, right? Like you don't want to be drawing candles on wicks like this. It won't make any sense. Like you draw your support and resistance here to the left, like right here, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, I mean, in this case, it's very close to the resistance. I'll say, like, I'll draw my resistance maybe here, and then if you're looking for closures above the wicks, it'll be here. But like, it doesn't matter. I'll say here will be cleanest, because as long as you're not drawing it like maybe like down here or something at these wicks to the left here, it won't make any sense, right? You want to draw it where you have the cleanest traffic, and anything above like 2007 would be the cleanest area of interest, I'll say, to drive up. All right, so yeah, that's what I'll do. When and why did you decide to switch your old RR, which is usually basically how I trade today, to the current huge stop loss you were currently use? Would such huge stops works on prop firm account? Yeah, so Why did you switch? Yeah, so over the years, like I'll say over like last year, the year prior, I've noticed that a lot of times when I get stopped out, because what I'll do is I used to put my stops above the previous kind of higher low. So for instance, if I were to take a sell here, like for instance, just an example, if I were to take a sell here, I put my stops above here. I have like a 50 pip stop, maybe like a TP down here, whatever the case may be, right? My RR would be in a better, I would say it'll be in a better situation. I'll have a better RR. But the thing I've noticed over the years is that usually I'll get stopped out a lot, where I'll break the previous kind of low and I'll still be able to drive in that direction. And that seemed to play out quite often. So that's what I noticed in 2021, 2022. So I was like, okay, well, what's the best stop I could use to have, to not get stopped out and to a point where the trade still makes sense, right? Because my stops now are usually placed at levels where I know for a fact if price were to come up and break that structure, it's gonna fly. So there's no need to have a stop bigger than that area, right? So from what I noticed, I think 2022, end of 2022, maybe early 2023, we did have a smaller stop by a bit. We did have like a 50 to 70 pip range stop. And then by as the year went by, our stops got a little bigger. So it went from, I think, having a 30 pip stop to a 70 pip stop to like 110 average pip stop. Now, I'll show you guys why, because a lot of it has to do with liquidity. A lot of times, like you'll be in a situation like this where, for instance, you have a range form here, right? And then you have, let's say, like some type of, you know what? Let me just do this. You have like, let's say this, for instance, right? I'm like, forget me finding an example. Let me just draw out the whole scenario for you guys. Right, so in this case, right, I'll have something like this, right? And usually what I'll do is I'll be like, okay, cool. You know, as we close above like this range to left hand side over here, right? Obviously, closure above, closure below, that's pretty key. You close above, you should continue to drive up. But in this scenario right now, there wouldn't be any liquidity being grabbed. Like there's no liquidity to identify that price is grabbed to drive up, right? So in some cases, I might take a buy here, like last year or the year prior, I would have taken a buy right here. And I would have had my stop loss maybe below here on this red line here. I would have had my stop below there. I would have had my entry on this green box around here probably. And I would have had my TP wherever, like, you know, anywhere above there. But I'll be in this position. And what I've noticed is that what price would do sometimes is it'll break the lows first and then still continue to drive. But as it breaks the lows, it's still respecting the support you have or the resistance you have at 1976. So 2 years ago, I would have got stopped out. Whereas this year, I understand liquidity now. I understand that, okay, price may be in a situation to maybe come down, break the lows, as long as the bullish is still the structure is still bullish here to drive up. And as long as you don't close anywhere below like 1976, this thing should continue to drive up to retest the high. So let's say it's a 4-hour candle. 4-hour candle opens up. I take an entry right here, for instance, right? What I'll do is, okay, cool. I'll take an entry there. I have my stops below here. I'll get stopped out 2 years ago. But now if I were to put my stops below like the 5-minute ranges, which is below like 1960, right? I understand that, okay, price could spend the first 2-3 hours coming down and create a bottom wick. The last hour, as long as it closes respecting this yellow line here to the left at 1976, you should be good to drive up towards wherever next. So yeah, that's kind of why I adjusted my stops over the years. I just noticed that I'll get stopped out quite often using previous kind of highs, previous kind of lows. And yes, the stops might be smaller, but it would affect my psychology in trading in general. Like obviously the more losses you have, the more you have the urge to make things back or revenge those stops, right? So I'm like, okay, well, what if I just have my stops at a point where I understand that, okay, if price were to break that lower high, the trade's gone. There's no need to hold that trade or mirror that trade afterwards, right? But understand that that is a very heavy structure point where for a fact, it's not going to come back to my original entry. So that's kind of where I have it now. I just have it, let's say I were to have a position right here for like buys, for instance, right? I'll put my stop maybe like below, let's see, like let's say below here, for instance, right? Because I understand, okay, cool, to the left hand side, if I were to break below this wick here, looking left, you may be coming back into this range to the left hand side here, and therefore you'll be making your way down towards like 1908 instead, right? So there's no need to have a stop bigger than that, but the chances I'm taking is that as long as price let's say, respects the support here and it doesn't close below, it can do something like this. For all I know, right, the trade's still valid. So my chance, the only thing I'm looking at really is like clean traffic to the left to determine my stops. So for instance, I'll put my stop like here. I understand that every time you break below there, you'll be able to drop down towards here. So that's a stop loss that I'll be comfortable with, because one, it's wide enough to a point where that's a break of structure, and two, there's no going back once you break that low. So that's how I identify my stops now. But yeah, like the whole RR thing, it's like I don't force a big stop loss as well. Like sometimes my stops might be a little smaller, right? And I feel a lot of traders would force a stop loss because that's what they're funded or whatever could risk, and that's completely okay and understandable. But for me, I don't trade prop firms, right? So I don't have no there's no limits or rules on how I could trade, and that's why I don't trade props. If I were to trade a prop firm, would I be able to pass it? I mean, sure, in a sense where I have to kind of force my stops to be a bit smaller, but again, I don't trade funded, and I'm not gonna I teach whatever I trade. You know, I'm not gonna teach a way I don't trade. It won't make any sense. So yeah, that's how I'll go about it. On average, how many pips do you end up gaining per trade? On average, I'll say, I mean, probably like 10 to 15, I'll say on average. Like looking at my spreadsheet here, if you were to look at the spreadsheet, damn, we're up 68 pips for October. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'll say an average of like maybe like 10, 15, I'll say. Like lately they've been going up quite a bit, but around 12, 13, I'll say on average. Which doesn't mean we won't catch runners, right? We do catch runners every now and then, like 9 pips there, 147 pips there, right? So they do happen, but probably like 1 out of 10 times they'll happen, but being honest. Explain your targets. So targets are pretty simple. It has a lot to do with different time frames as well. It comes down to what time frame I'm reading the charts off of. So let's say I am looking for a buy for some reason today, right? If I were to look for a buy, what would make the most sense for a buy to be formed? Okay, well, right now our situation is the daily closed bearish below this range here, right? We close below here, and your next support is down here, which this means now that we are in this range from the first blue box to the second blue box. So what I'll do, and what I'll expect the next candle to do, is I'll assume that we would come up to create a top wick before coming down. So if my next area of interest to the left hand side is that top of the blue range, and that's where I'm expecting the top wick to be today, if I'm looking for buys, I'm looking for buys up until that daily resistance, because I understand that higher time frame must print a top wick before coming down, so I can use that as my advantage point. So I'll say, okay, cool, before price drops down to on the daily, likely you're gonna come up to create a top wick. So if I were to be in a buy on a smaller time frame, then I would look to take profit at this resistance area. Understand that this resistance area could be a good area of interest to reject off of. So yeah, I'll put my TP there on a smaller time frame. So let's say this is a resistance over here. I'll drop down to a smaller time frame. I'll say, okay, cool. If I'm looking for buys today, I would not take buys just yet. However, I would market this up as a resistance. I'll mark this up as a support. I'll wait for a bottom wick to be formed. So I'll wait for something like this to be formed. If you can break the lows at 1934, great. And then once you close above the range, I can take buys up like this. So I can then anticipate buys within this range here on the count flip once you create a top wick, or once you close above and you get a bottom wick here. So your entry levels could be like either on the flip here, or the lows here. But you need to form this bottom wick first to identify those buys up. And then my target again will be the resistance up here at 1948, which is that daily top wick area to drive. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this were to happen on Monday or Sunday. Yes, it will be recorded. I'm sure, also going back to the prop firm question as well, like I'm sure you can pass funded trading the way we trade. Obviously there's been a lot of traders who pass prop firms, right? It just comes down to what you risk per trade, like what percentage you're risking, and some challenges don't even have drawdown limits anymore, so that might be a plus too. Any questions in the Zoom? Let's see. Hold on, let me actually take care of the YouTube real quick, and now I'll go back to Zoom. We have like maybe another 10 minutes on YouTube, and then we'll go on to Zoom and answer questions through there. Or I mean from there. how do you decide if you're going to take a wick trade or breakout trade? Do you see the range? Yeah, so like in this example, again, like I'm using the same example here that I just used. So in this scenario here, you have a couple options, right? It comes down to what price prints. It's not up to you to determine what you want to take, but it's up to what price prints here. So this is my resistance at 1939, right? And then this is my support at 1933. So if you were to drive up today on the daily, it would be very rare for price to just drive up without creating structure, right? It would be very rare to see a account come up like this, right? So what you want to see before taking buys is you want to see some type of liquidity being grabbed. So as you come down, grab liquidity, cool. You close above the range like this, right? In my case right now, since the daily bias is heavily bearish, I would not look for buys in this scenario at the bottom of the range. It'll be very scary to take wick entries here because at any given point it can just dip down. But what I'll take is I'll wait for this candle to close maybe bullish, right? If it were to come down, create a bond, we can close bullish. That's a great confirmation to determine that we're gonna head up towards the top of the range now. So yeah, two options. You could, one, take the flip, which is fine, right? But your styles for the flip will likely have to be the breakout lows. So it'll have to be like maybe below, like you have to take a buy on something like this, right? This is your trade pretty much. But you can also take the wick entry, right? But at least you understand that, okay, well, this candle over here broke all the lows, closed above the range, so there's no reason for price to really come down and break this low again, right? So you can probably attempt a wick entry as price comes down. What you want to do is you want to look left to see where your minor support resistance is. So in this case, my minor support resistance to the left is in this yellow box here, right? Because looking left, there's areas of rejections right around here. So I'll say, cool, as you come down and tap that yellow box, I'll look for buys on this candle bottom wick to drive up to retest the highs, and that'll be my entry instead, right? That's where I'll base it off of, just most recent support or resistance. But yeah, those are two options. You're not wrong to take this. You're not wrong to take this. It comes down to just what you prefer that day and what makes the most sense to you. So maybe you might see this on the 1 hour time frame, right? Or on a 30-minute time frame, like we're looking at right now. But on like the 5:15, you might notice that, okay, well, price closed, for instance, like, you know, no top wick or something. That might have flawed your entry on the flip instead. So now you can look for a wick entry down here. Understand that you might come up to create a top wick on the 5, right? You see how like there's different variations of what could happen based on how the small time frame looks that could lead up to the same play in the higher time frame. So yeah, that like things like that will determine whether or not I'm going to take a wick entry or not. Are you guys with me on that, or did I lose you guys? I might have lost you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I explained that a little too fast. So like basically, like if you were to see this on a 30-minute time frame, right, and this were to look like a breakout, you drop down to the 5. Okay, so let's just imagine that this is a 5-minute time frame over here to the left. So let's go ahead and divide this up. All right, so anything to the right here is just imagine there's no support and resistance here. It's just like one, you know, clean chart. But let's say on the 5-minute time frame, you see something like this. You see like, okay, cool, so price is obviously coming down bearish. Let's just draw it up here so you guys can see. Obviously won't look exactly like this, but this is very similar, I'll say. So look, okay, so this might be confusing, but I need you guys to visualize this, okay? Because I don't know how to make this a lot simpler than what it is. So imagine, let me just block all this out too, so it's even easier for you guys to see. So let's block all that out. Okay, so just imagine, chat, all right? Now, this wick might be a little too wide. I don't want to confuse you guys here. Let's go ahead and delete this line here. So imagine now, all right, now to the left hand side you have a 30-minute time frame. Okay, to the right hand side you might have the same structure, but it might look different because it's a smaller time frame. Let's say on the right side, for instance, the time frame is like the 5 or 15-minute time frame instead of a 30-minute time frame, right? So as you see the structure printing on a small time frame, it's the same shit. You're gonna see this as, for instance, this is your, in this yellow box, or yeah, in this yellow box coming down, this is your bearish pull down, right? In which in this case is the same shit. This is your bearish pull down, right? And then this right here, this range that you formed to the left would be more of like this, right? And then all of a sudden, right, that right there. And then all of a sudden you have that this huge wick down, which let me make this a little cleaner. You have this huge wick down now, right? So this is your yellow box, orange box, and then you have this spike down that created this bottom wick in this I'll say green zone to the left here. So you have now this huge spike down. That huge spike down is just this move down to the left here, right? So if that's your huge push down, as you come back up on the 30-minute time frame, it might just look like a wick coming down to drop back up, but on the smaller time frame, it's just candles printing back into the range. So if you were to get a closure like this back into the range on the 30-minute time frame, but you notice that the 5-minute time frame has no top wick now, and instead of taking the flip because you're worried about the smaller time frame not driving up due to no top wick, right? You could look for maybe a wick entry instead, understanding that now this is your new advantage point. Right, this is now your new advantage point which means that no matter what price does, if it drives up or it drives down, you're likely going to form a top wick. So if price opens up on the small time from now with a drive down like this, I would assume that drive down is a bottom wick for us to drive back up on a higher time frame, because again, the 1 hour candle closed bullish back into the range after grabbing liquidity. So the idea is now you're going to drive up to retest the highs, right? So if the smaller time frame looks like it has no top wick here, I might not take a flip of a candle entry. I might not look for an entry here. I'd rather look for a bottom wick entry, which in this case would be, again, at my next minor support to the left here, which was around here, right? So in this case, I'll say it'll be around here in a smaller time frame. So as it comes down there, I'll take a wick entry, understand that, okay, even if price weren't to drive up, there's a very high chance that even if you were to drive, up or down, you have a top wick form. So you wouldn't just do this and then like drive down like this. It's very rare for price to just drive straight down, right? You're likely gonna see, if anything, this and then a move down, and then that top wick will be your advantage point. So that's where you can look to get out as. So as you take a wick entry, you now have an advantage point which with no top wick, and you can take a wick entry instead of taking the flip, right? So it's not just like one variable of what you could do. There's different variables and different ways you can go about it, but every scenario is different, because the scenario that I explained here was just if there were to be no top wick here, right? But sometimes it might be a different factor, like maybe you close on a small time from respecting the resistance or whatever the case may be. But you know, you kind of got to apply everything that you've kind of learned on the streams, when to take wick entries versus when not to take wick entries. But yeah, that's what I'll do in that sense. So yeah, in that case, I wouldn't take a wick entry or a flip. I'll take rather a wick entry, and sometimes I might vice versa, take the opposite. Let's see, what else do you got? Why you get out of break even so quick sometimes? It's not up to me to decide where I want to get out. It's up to the market. So if the market shows me that there's a minor resistance coming up, I'm gonna go ahead and close off my trade. It doesn't mean I'm right or wrong. It just means that, to my experience, that like typically whenever we do tap that area of interest, we might look to reject. So in this case, I'd rather get out and wait for a better opportunity. But as traders, as retail traders, you can do whatever you want to do. There's no rules to you holding a trade because you need to have a 1-to-1. There's no rules. You're never obligated to hold a trade because you want to see a certain amount of dollars in your account. It's up to you. And the best way to manage risk is to not manage risk based off of emotions, but rather manage risk based off of logic and price action. Let's see, who else got a good question? Are mods here? Yeah, mods are here. Would you recommend books to better understand the markets, or how did you acquire knowledge at the beginning of your career? So when it comes to books, like for me, I never really like read books growing up as a trader. That's just how I was. I can't learn while reading. That's just how I am. I've always been like that since I was a kid. I just couldn't learn while reading. I'm more of a visual learner. I need to see things. I need to do things myself hands-on. So for me, I went straight to the videos. I watched YouTube videos. I watched course videos. I've, open up MT5, test out things myself. I just had to be hands-on to learn. I can't learn when just I'm looking at a screen reading and taking notes down. It just doesn't work for me, you know. So yeah, everyone's different. So for me, no books I've read growing up. I've read maybe like a Bible, a candlestick Bible. That's about it though. But it's not really a book. It's more of a visual thing anyways, right? But yeah, everyone's different. Everyone is different. Do you identify reversal zone, continuation zone? Okay, I'll get to that question in a second. I think the Zoom might have a similar question to that later on. I'm pretty sure. Yo, Zoom, start spamming questions in the chat. I'll meet you guys as you guys ask. I know like a couple of you guys have some good questions, and I don't know. Yeah, General Aldine is here as well, so maybe he could also start off with that idea that he had that you sent me. If you guys aren't in the Zoom, join a Zoom. If you have access to it, join a Zoom. General did push-ups first. Oh yeah, he has to do the push-ups. Yeah. He's been ducking. Trying to see if there's a good question that I haven't gotten to yet. Psychology, sure. What do you guys want to know about psychology? Oh, Elvis is here. Let's unmute Elvis.
Yo.
What's up, bro?
Sup.
How's the thing going so far? Am I missing any points? Am I like going through the right things, or you think I'm just?
No, you're good. I think that's why Zooms is useful, right? Like when somebody asks a question, they get a reply, and then they see if you missed anything, and they ask you again. That's why the Zoom is useful. On YouTube, if you're just reading a chat, you don't know if you've done well or not, so it's slightly difficult then. But yeah, you're doing fine, man.
All right, so just wondering because I'm just going through it.
Yeah, no worries. Like basically, if they have any more questions or they don't understand, they'll just ask you again.
All right,
so it's fine.
Six. Yeah, that's why I asked a mod here. I'm like, well, yeah, let me know if I just missed anything, or if there's a question that you really think that I need to get onto that I haven't answered.
It's difficult because you have like 600, 700 people.
Yeah, so many questions, right? I'm trying to go through them, but I'm not trying to repeat any questions. So, how did you learn? Let's see. What was that one question I just saw? It was my routine or something. My routine. Oh, okay, yeah, there we go. Your routine. Wow, the buff trader said it too. Your routine keeping the same mental state after trades. Wait, your routine keeping same mental state trades after trades. So like my routine on how to like accept losses and go on with my day, or like what do you mean? Like what does that mean? My routine is like, he asked, what's your routine like to keep the same mental state after trades, I guess, like after any scenario trade, like win, loss, or break even. Yeah, so I'll say my routine through the wins and losses are very similar. I try to preach as much as I can on the streams where I say, yo guys, like honestly, you winning a trade and you losing a trade doesn't mean much. It won't determine your success for that day. Your success for that day and your improvement for that day comes down to what happened prior to a trade and after the trade. So the way I see it is you have to accept the fact that no matter what you do in this industry, for the rest of your career, you're going to take losses, you're going to take wins, you're going to take break evens. There's nothing you can do about those three things. They're going to happen. The only thing you can control is your mental state prior to your trade taken. So your discipline, your patience, waiting for that sell to come to you. That's the only thing in your control. Everything else should already be sample sized and tested to a point where no matter what price prints, you're going to take the same entries again day after day. So if the trade today were to be a win for 110 pips, I'm going to take the same trade again tomorrow. If that trade today were to be that loss for 110 pips, I'm going to take the same trade again tomorrow. If that trade were to hit break even, I'm taking that same trade again tomorrow. I can't control the outcome. I can only control the patience and discipline leading to that trade setup. And obviously the playbook, which has been built over the years, that's already done, said and done. So I'm just following the same playbook, but I can only control my mental state, right? So no matter if it's win, loss, or break even, I don't celebrate my wins or losses or break evens. It's just another day for me. I understand that when I come to the charts, I'm not obligated to make money. The market doesn't owe me anything. There's no pressure on me to make money. There's no time limit, nothing. I'm just there waiting for myself to come to me. And if they do come, great, I'll take them. If you don't, then I won't take them. But no matter what it is, win, loss, break even. I'm not looking at that as a win for the day. I'm looking at it as a win as my preparation for that trade that day, right? So if I was like maybe impatient that day, like for instance last Thursday, I said to you guys, yo chat, I'm done for a day. I cannot trade today. Like, not that I couldn't trade, but I cannot read price, right? And what I meant by I can't read price is just that I've had so much experience before to a point where I understand that if I were even if I were to take that second trade that day, long term it wouldn't have done me any good, because I've seen myself in those scenarios so many times, to a point where I take a trade, I hit break even, and then I take another trade right after, I win, but then later on, let's say the next day afterwards, right, I might be more emotional than I was prior to that trade being taken, because I felt more impulsive to take that trade, and I might fuck up my routine. So me that day saying, yo guys, I'm hopping off here, I'm not taking another trade while everyone else took a trade, that for me was a W that day. So then the next day I came on, I obviously took a win on the Friday, right? And great, I did good that week. That's what I'll determine my success based off of, but not based off of how many pips I collected that week or that day or that month, you know, because that shit's irrelevant, right?
Yeah, I would also say, like, the way that the person phrased the question, right? It's like, what routine do you need after you take a trade? It kind of indicates that you're still trading with emotion, right? You're looking for a routine to help you fix, you know, your emotional state, to get you back to a state where you can do another trade completely without emotion again. So that's indicating that, you know, you're trading potentially for the money, right? You have to look within, like, why are you trading? Like, is it because the setup wasn't good enough, right? Is it because it wasn't your plan, your entry, or everything? And all those things will lead to you having emotion in the trade, right? And then because of that, now you're looking for a routine to get you back on track. But the key thing is, you have to look within, like, what is it that's actually affecting you in that trade? Because technically, if it goes, you know, completely as what Don was saying, right? If it goes completely with, you know, your plan, your playbook, your setup, entry, and everything, then you're going to take that trade no matter what. It's not going to even be emotional. It's just going to be, oh, I see it. Cool, I'll take it, right?
That's it. Perfectly explained. And yeah, as for like just after the trade as well being taken, like, again, like, you also want to just actually no, I think I'll cover all those points covered anyways, so I'm good. I was gonna add on to it, but I think you got it all down.
There's just a lot of questions.
Yeah, so many questions, bro. Let's see. I'm trying to just find like the questions that aren't related to the other questions, you know? Like, I see a lot of support and resistance ones, but I already explained support and resistance one. There's a Zoom question. Okay. Hi, Don. Could you explain how you calculate lot size, particularly in relation to the account size? For instance, if starting with a $10,000 account, do you have a strategy or a playbook for that scaling the lot size? I'm keen to understand your approach to this. So, me, when I use my lot sizes, I use fixed lot sizes. Now, this is a thing I've been doing for the last 4 years now. And I think when I first did it, it was just to make things simple for myself. I wouldn't have to go in a lot size calculator and insert the numbers, insert the stop loss, waste 5 minutes of my time, or not waste time, but, you know, spend 5 minutes of my time doing that. Whereas I know my account size, I know my average stop loss now, which I understand that my stop loss on average is like 80 to 110 pips. So I'll calculate off of 80 to 110 pips what my risk would be. Let's say I calculate that to being 1 to 2% risk, right, per trade. I'll average it out to the 80 to 110 pip stop loss, and I'll say, okay, for instance, a $10,000 account, what's 1% of $10,000 account? Maybe like, what was that, 100 bucks? No, I lied. Yeah, 100 bucks, right? Yeah, it's 100 bucks. So if that were to be 100 bucks and 100 bucks were to be 1% of my account, I'll risk 100 bucks per trade. So on a 110 pip stop loss, on average, I'll maybe pop a 0.10 lot on a $10,000 account. 0.10 lot, understand that, okay, if I were to hit full stops there, then that's 1% risk of my account. So every trade I take will be a 0.10 lot on that account. And as the year goes on, your risk would get smaller, obviously, because your account grows, right? So I started the year off this year with a 200K account. By the end of the year, it got to $1 million, right? So that risk went from maybe, you know, 3, 4, 5% to being like 1% per trade as the year went through. And that's how I look at risk. But everyone is different. Some people, if you prefer to use like percentage risk, then sure. But you're gonna have to go through this app or just do it in your head mentally but there's an app called Stinu. I'm not sponsored, but you can basically just insert the numbers in. You go on that lot, you go on that that calculator, you insert your balance, you insert your pair, you insert how big the stop loss is, you insert how big the TP is, and then it gives you that lot size that you would want to use based on that risk you chose. But yeah, again, everyone's different. I just like to use fixed loss because it keeps things simple, and I don't gotta check text.
Yeah, I would say generally for lot sizes, there's so many ways you can do it, and it's very opinionated. Like, you do fixed lot sizes, you can calculate lot sizes for everything, but I would, generally try to experiment with, a couple and then see how you feel, right? But I guess the overarching conditions are, you understand you want to risk X%, whether that's 1 to 2% like everybody normally does, or that's 5-10% if you're trading on a live, right? Once you understand that, then you just map that to how many positions you usually take per trade, what your standard stop loss is, right? And then after that, you just calculate how many, what your kind of lot size needs to be. And if that's a fixed lot size, you maybe want to increase that over time as you continue to grow the account. So say it goes from 10K account to like a 50K account, right? Then you're probably going to up your lot size, because then at that point, your original risk is not the same. But yeah, it's very opinionated, so how you manage that.
Fuck, guys. Fuck, we might gotta end this like right now. I gotta go. There's the matches that came, and we weren't like they were supposed to text me this morning saying like the window, but they never texted us the window, and then they just said all of a sudden we're here without any notice. So they said they'll wait an hour to 30 minutes. So I gotta dip right now, unfortunately. That kind of sucks. Damn. How long was this? An hour? Fuck, yo, chat. I'll redo this. What are you guys doing later? Maybe I can come back and redo this. I gotta go though. Yeah, I gotta dip because that fucking sucks. Well, we just got started. Yeah, maybe I can come back later. Okay, but just let me come deliver this couch, and I'll be right back. I'll see what time it is by then, but it shouldn't be too late. My bad, chat. Like we're just about to get into it and shit, and we had a really good session. I feel bad, but yeah, I can't. I gotta get the couch. Like I'll still leave.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Don't worry about it.
Or maybe you want to do it. I can just dip off and come back.
I mean, I can do it for now, but it's like I don't
know how long I'll be on for. That's the thing. I might be on.
I mean, I can do it for like an hour. It's fine, but I don't know. I can't stream it.
Okay, how about this? You could continue on your stream. So everyone go follow up Evolution DVS. If Elvis could work through some questions with you guys, but I'll see if I can come back, and when I come back, I'll do it on my stream again. All right. But yeah, if you have time, like, you can go ahead on YouTube and pull it up. But I gotta dip.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll keep. Can I keep the Zoom open, or do you want me to?
No, you can keep the Zoom open. I'll give you a host.
Okay, just make me host. Yeah.
Chat. It's Evolution DVS. Okay, so go on YouTube. Look up this channel. Elvis will take over right now, and then I'll be right back. Maybe in like an hour or hour and a half, but around 12 or 12. I'll say I should be good to be back. All right. But yeah, chat. Peace out, bro. Sorry, I got dip. Didn't think this would happen. I thought I had more time. But yeah, I'll be back later. All right.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Let me give you a host, bro.
Sounds good.
Again, my apologies to chat. Did not mean to do that. All right, bro. Later, everybody. See you guys on this channel. Yeah, bro. See you guys later, bro. How many viewers do we have there? Sorry, yo. We had some good viewers too. Damn, we had 700. All right. Love you guys, bro. Take it easy. I'll be back. Maybe you guys can ask some more. Think about some good questions later on too. So you guys have more time for that as well. All right. So I guess that's a plus.